Well, hey, good afternoon. I thought I'd make another little video on planting the garden. If you're going to be a successful gardener, one of the things that you need to do is you need to plan. It's sometimes not fun. I mean, it does take some time, but ultimately you find that if you get in the habit of planning out your garden year after year and you start keeping notes, you will be a more successful gardener. You have better results. You'll be able to learn from your mistakes. Um, you won't have to reinvent the wheel every year. So I think this year, I've been gardening now for about 5 years and more seriously here in the last two. And one of the things I'm going to try to do starting this year is kind of keep more of a written record of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And hopefully this is going to help me. This is a vegetable garden planner that I got a subscription through Mother Earth News. It was a gift subscription, so I'm just kind of trying it out. I believe for a year it's $25, and for 2 years it's $40. And they store your information on a server, and so you have access to it from any computer or device that has internet access. It's powered by this growveg.com, and so there's various gardening publications that advertise this tool. I just happen to get my subscription through Mother Earth News, and it's pretty neat. There's a lot of helps, a lot of videos on how to use it, on how to plant, your frost dates, various things. There's a whole online community associated with this. If I wanted to, I can share my garden plans with other gardeners. I could post it where they wouldn't have any of my personal information, but they would be able to view my garden plan, what I'm planting, and how I'm planting it. So just pretty neat resource. When you first set your account up, it's going to ask for email, password, whatnot. And then it's going to ask for your location, which you can update. But what you do is you'll type in your zip code, and then it will pull your frost dates, your frost-free date, and your first frost date based on weather information from your nearest weather station, which ours, it's pulling it from 17 miles away, so it's pretty accurate. They're saying an average frost date's May 6th, frost-free date, and the average first frost is October 2nd, and that's pretty accurate. Usually it's more like it's a week later on both ends here where we live, and it could be that we're just a little bit into the next zone or whatnot, but usually I'm planting Mother's Day weekend, and I can go all the way to the second, sometimes even a third week of October. Usually about the second full week of October is when we get our first hard frost. But anyway, once that's in, that's going to drive your planting dates and whatnot as you get into the tool. But so let's get into the tool. Click on New Plan. You can name your garden, the year, and then you type in the dimensions, and you can, I'm using feet and inches. This is just the default that comes up, but you can, let's say 25 by 50. Okay, gotta name it. Let's just name it Y. And what it's going to do is generate this empty grid that is to the specifications that you input. And then you can start creating stuff. They've got all kinds of tools here. You can draw your beds, like I can draw a rectangle, click where I want to start it. And I can't really demonstrate it because I'm holding the camera with one hand and tooling around with this mouse mouse pad on the other. So let's just go to my plan. This is what I've been working on this afternoon. Just kind of toying around. I've drawn everything more or less to scale. And I mean, if you're really wanted to spend some time in here, I mean, this could be as elaborate as you want it to be. But I've just got a basic layout here. You know, some rectangular beds I've thrown out here is what I'm thinking about doing this year. And in the various vegetables that I want to plant, which that's kind of handy. Once you draw your beds, and you just kind of click on the vegetable you want to you're going to grow. You know, this icon of the, that's information, so you'll pull up information about the plants and whatnot. But you just click on the vegetable and then just drop it where you want it to grow. If I've got the square foot gardening button turned on, so I've got to place these individually. If I had that turned off, I could drop one and I could drag and just kind of cover a whole area, you know, if I was doing it that way. But it's pretty neat. You double click on the vegetable that you drop in, and you can create a plant label so that this name will come out to the side. And they already have a lot of varieties programmed in. If your variety is not in there, you can add it. But what's neat about this is that once you have everything plotted out, you can go to this plant list. It will give you what you've plotted out, how many plants that is, how many plants you're going to fit in a square foot. And then it's going to give you the dates of when to sow indoors, sow outdoors, and harvest, as far as kind of a rough timeline. And as you can see, most of my cold weather stuff, they're wanting me to start the beginning of March so that they're ready to sow outdoors by April. Or so, April or May. You know, tomatoes, I think they want me to start mid-March so that they're ready to go by mid-May. But really handy. You can print all this out, you know, have a binder, or you can just keep it all online like this. But the other thing that, you know, as far as the information, it suggests companion plants that you can plant with the crops. Just a lot of information. But what's really handy is, like, let's say I use this tool next year, which more than likely I will. When I go to plan next year's garden, there's a option on there where you can indicate you're going to be doing crop rotation, and it will let you know if you are not planting things where they should be, if you're going to be rotating your crops. Like if there's a conflict, it will let you know that. And I think it'll keep track of it for like up to, I don't know, 3 years or 4 years or whatever whatever you specify. But just really handy. A lot of information. Again, you can make this as detailed as you want. Spend a lot of time with this. But again, if you're going to be a successful gardener, there's definitely value in planning and keeping a record of what you're doing. And it's a discipline. It's something that that you have to kind of work at. But once you get in the habit of doing that year after year, it's ultimately going to make your gardening more enjoyable, more productive, and you're going to be more knowledgeable. You know, and you're going to also notice trends and weather patterns and various things that are particular to, you know, where you're growing. So anyway, if you haven't checked this tool out yet, I highly recommend it, at least so far. It's the Vegetable Garden Planner. You could probably Google it, and it would take you to a link to, you know, check it out. And I think they also, you can sign up to on a trial basis, I believe. But anywho, that's it for now. Until next time, bye.